This lesson is about lowest common multiple. The objectives for this lesson are that students will learn the basic concept of lowest common multiple, or LCM, and how to find the LCM of at least two numbers. After this lesson, students should be able to learn how to find the LCM of at least two numbers and learn how to apply LCM to adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Some key words are lowest common multiple, which is the smallest product between two numbers or more. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem, and prime numbers are a number that is the product of itself and 1. So this means that 2 would be a prime number because no other factors multiplied together will give you 2. Only 2 times 1 gives you that. And it's the same thing with 3 and 5 and 7. There's two different methods. The first method is to write out the products for each number. So this example is asking us to find the lowest common multiple between 4 and 6. So first we're going to write out the products for 4. So we've written it all out, and then we're going to write out the products for 6. We're not going to write out every single one. We're just going to write up until we see at least two multiples that are the same, or products that are the same for each multiplication table. So we have, for 4, we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. And for 6, we have 6, 12, 18, and 24. What we're going to do now is we're going to circle the same products for each multiplication table. So we can circle 12 and 24. But lowest common multiple is looking for the lowest or the smallest number that is common between two numbers. And in this case, it would be 12, not 24, because that's larger than 12. So the lowest common multiple, or the LCM, is 12. The second method is to use something called prime factorization, and this is a huge help for bigger numbers. Right now we're just going to work with 4 and 6, but in a few more other examples later on in this lesson we'll work with bigger numbers. So right now we're going to find the LCM between 4 and 6 using prime factorization. Is make a sort of a tree chart with each of the numbers that we are given to find the LCM between. So since 4 is one of the numbers, let's start with 4, and we're going to break 4 down into two other numbers that when they're multiplied together, they'll give us 4. So the only two numbers that multiply together besides 4 and 1 that give us 4 are 2 and 2. And you'll notice that these two numbers are prime numbers, which means that they can be broken down into 2 and 1. And they can just continuously be broken down into 2 and 1, and that's it. So that means we're just going to stop at wherever the prime numbers end. So now we're going to do 6. What are the two numbers that can be multiplied together that will give us 6 besides 6 times 1? It's 2 times 3. So 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and 2 times 2 is equal to 4, which is why both of these numbers are broken down into these prime numbers. Now we're going to circle the prime numbers. Circle all of these numbers at the end here, and we're going to make a T-chart now. So here's our T-chart, and we're going to try to line up the similar numbers for each factor. So for 4 we can put in 2 and 2, and for 6 we can put 2 and 3. Make sure to line up the similar numbers. So since 6 had 2 in common with 4, we're going to line up one of the 2's with the other 2, and 3 on the outside here, because 3 is not common with any of the other numbers. And we're going to take each of these numbers and we're going to multiply them. So since we have 2 and 2 in common between 4 and 6, we're just going to put 1, 2 like that. So it's going to be 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so now we're going to multiply these numbers, and we get 12, which means that the LCM of 4 and 6 is 12. Let's find the LCM between 12 and 32. Remember, prime factorization helps with larger numbers most of the time. So let's use prime factorization to find the lowest common multiple between 12 and 32. Let's start off with 32 first. Let's break down 32 into smaller numbers. So we can do 8 and 4. Okay, we've broken 32 down into 8 and 4. Each of these numbers can be broken down further. So we can break down 8 into 4 and 2, and we can break down 4 into 2 and 2. Now, the 4 over here can also be broken down further. So that can be broken down into 2 and 2. Now that we have broken down all the numbers on the 32 side down to the lowest and they cannot be broken down anymore, we can move on to 12. 12 can be broken down into 2 and 6. 6 can be broken down into 2 and 3. Now you can always use two other numbers for 12, so you could have used 3 and 4 as well. You would have still gotten the same answer as we're going to get later as we finish this problem, okay? So now we're going to circle all of the prime numbers and make a t-chart with 12 and 32. And make sure to line up all the similar numbers for each factor. So we have 2, 2, and 3 for 12, and we have 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2 for 32. Make sure to line up the similar numbers. We're going to circle the ones that are lined up because those are the similar numbers. And now we can bring all these numbers down and multiply them together. So since these are similar, we just bring down 1, 2. And since these are similar, we bring down 1, 2. And we bring down these 2's as well, and the 3. We're going to multiply them together to get 96. This means that 96 is the lowest common multiple between 32 and 12. You can better understand lowest common multiple and prime factorization using these resources and by watching this video, because prime factorization is a little bit of a tough topic and so is lowest common multiple.